This story begins in the 18th century Australia. We see a child calming a small crying child. Suddenly, someone calls him, and he leaves the place. Now a woman standing far away, who was watching everything, steps forward and picks up the child in her arms. The child slowly calms down, and this woman takes off a necklace from her neck and places it around the child's neck. She then carries the child to a waterfall. Suddenly, she doesn't know what happens. For no reason, she throws the child off the waterfall, which was very shocking. After doing this, she goes straight to the church. Confessing her sin, she says that I have made a terrible mistake. Then very soon we hear the news that the woman has been punished for what she did. Her death was also very cruel. We see her dead body in the jungle, tied to a chair, and her head is trapped in a cage. Then a stranger arrives there, cuts the woman's finger, and wraps it in a cloth. After this, we meet the main character of the story, whose name is Agnes. Agnes is a poor farmer who lives with her brother and mother. She is 17 years old. Today is her wedding, which makes her look happy. Now Agnes, her brother, and her mother, these three, are traveling to another village with their luggage in a cart. All this is happening for her soon-to-be husband. When they reach his house, they find that wedding preparations are underway. The man marrying Agnes is named Wolf. With the joy of the village, Agnes is lifted in their arms, which makes her very happy. Now Wolf's mother puts an apron on Agnes, and then a doll resembling a child is placed in her hands. Everyone, including Agnes, looks very happy. This was meant to teach her that after marriage, she should be a good wife, manage all the household tasks, and take on the responsibility of a child when she becomes a mother. Anyway, they get married, and while people are dancing and singing in celebration, Wolf tells Agnes to come with me. I'll show you something special. He wants to surprise her. He blindfolds her eyes and takes her to a new house. Agnes is surprised and says, "But I thought I would live with your mother." Wolf replies that my brother will get that house, so I bought this one with my savings and some loans. Agnes is very worried to hear this. She immediately says, "You took a loan, but why? And how will you repay this loan?" Wolf smiles and replies, "Don't worry, it's my responsibility. Everything will be fine." It is evening now. From that morning, the villagers are still dancing. Also, after drinking too much, they are under the influence of alcohol. Agnes sees that Wolf is also very drunk and talking to her friend. After a while, Agnes's family decides to return home. Her brother gives Agnes a gift wrapped in cloth. When she opens it, it is the cut finger of the woman who was sentenced to death in front of everyone. Her brother says that this is a kind of key to your future. You will live well with your husband, and very soon you will hear the good news of becoming a mother. Hearing this, Agnes becomes very happy, and both siblings hug each other. They say that we will miss each other greatly. Then when Agnes arrives at her new home, she kisses the finger. Then she places it under her bed, as if it would bring her better luck. After doing this, she begins praying to God to make me a good wife and grant me children soon. Now after a while, Wolf comes home. Drunk Agnes, like a good wife, goes to him and hopes to spend a pleasant time, but instead he scolds her, tells her to sleep quietly, and goes to sleep himself. The next morning when Agnes wakes up, she sees that Wolf is not in bed. She searches for him all over the house and the stable, but she doesn't find him anywhere. Now Agnes gets ready and goes to the jungle. After wandering there for a long time, she sees strange signs on a paper attached to a tree. These relate to the woman who threw the child off the waterfall and is now dead. Seeing this, Agnes feels very upset. As she moves forward, she also sees the woman's body, still tied to the chair, and her head is cut off and placed aside. The head is trapped in a cage, and seeing it, her heart sinks. Moving a little further, Agnes finds Wolf, who is fishing in the pond with his mother and villagers. Wolf's mother tells her, "Come girl, get to work." Agnes tries hard to work, but since she has never done such tasks before, she faces a lot of difficulty. Then the church bell starts ringing, and hearing it, Agnes kneels and begins praying. Seeing her like this, Wolf's mother gets angry and says, "Stop it. Will you say all your prayers today? That's enough praying. Get to work." Now in the afternoon, Agnes and Wolf's mother are handing out bread to the workers. Everyone is given one piece at a time. One man asks for 2 pieces, saying that I am very hungry. Agnes feels sorry for him and gives him 2 pieces of bread. But seeing this, Wolf's mother takes 1 piece back and says, "Get out of here. Eat what you've been given." Agnes is very surprised and feels bad. Wolf is explaining to Agnes the path to the pond and the way back home. He also says that from now on, wear clothes suitable for work. After returning home, Agnes busies herself with the remaining tasks. Then, in the evening, she kisses the cut finger again and places it under the bed once more, hoping that her husband will live with her lovingly and their child will be born soon. But even tonight, he pushes her away. This breaks Agnes's heart, and she starts crying in the darkness outside. The next morning, Agnes goes to the church. Seeing the statue of Jesus' child, she prays to God for her own child. Agnes and Wolf's mother go to the pond to wash clothes. Then a woman arrives who is about to become a mother. This woman also works at Wolf's house. She quickly bonds with Agnes. Then both go to the jungle to rest, but their eyes close there. When Agnes opens her eyes, she realizes that I have been sleeping for a long time. The woman has also left. So Agnes quickly gets up and heads toward the house. When she arrives, she sees that Wolf's mother is cooking food. She asks, "Can I help you?" Wolf's mother angrily refuses and asks, "Where were you until now?" Agnes replies, "I went to the church." At this, Wolf's mother mocks her and says, "No matter how much you pray, God never supports a woman who doesn't care for her husband and doesn't cook for him on time." Wolf's mother also says that the plant you planted is very bad. It is dirty. The whole house looks dirty because of it, so it would be better to throw it away. Now Agnes feels very hurt by her behavior. She asks Wolf, "Will your mother come every day?" He replies, "I don't know." Agnes then asks, "Does she hate me?" Wolf explains that it's not like that. "My mother is just a little sad and has anger in her blood." Anyway, even tonight, Wolf goes to sleep without talking to Agnes, which makes her very sad. She thinks, "What should I do so that my husband takes interest in me?" She goes to an old room behind the house where she has set up her shrine, a place for worship. She prays to God. Then a butterfly lands on her bed. Agnes feels happy, seeing it as a sign of hope for herself. The next morning, she wakes up early and goes to the pond to catch fish before everyone arrives. But the poor girl can't catch a single fish. Instead, she gets stuck in the mud, unable to get out. Then Wolf arrives with his workers, worried to see Agnes like this. He says that you shouldn't have come here because this mud is very dangerous. Many people have drowned here. Agnes says she was just making up for her mistake of not cooking food yesterday. Wolf quickly pulls her out so that the fish don't swim away in fear. At night, someone knocks on Wolf's door and tells him that your friend is in bad condition, so he immediately goes to check. Sometimes Agnes also hears a woman's screams from the neighborhood, which makes her tremble. She takes a lantern and goes to the neighbor's house to see what happened. When she arrives, she sees many people outside Wolf's friend's house, because Wolf's friend has hanged himself and taken his life. A man comes to take his body, and his mother is crying. She begs people not to take him, but no one listens to her. They place his body on a cart and take it away. Seeing all this, Agnes is very frightened. She returns home and starts praying to always be safe from all evil. The next day, the priest arrives. He says that Wolf's friend's body should not be buried because taking your own life is a grave sin. In the beginning, the woman who threw the child off the waterfall was his own daughter, but she confessed her sin, so she was almost forgiven. Even after being forgiven, she was still given a painful death. But because she confessed her sin, her soul will go to heaven. And Wolf's friend took his own life and committed such a grave sin that his soul is lost, and he will surely go to hell. After leaving the church, Agnes sees that Wolf's friend's body has been thrown into the garbage to be buried with the bodies of other criminals. The next day, while Agnes is working in the fields, she has a women's health issue, which makes her sad, and she starts crying because she prayed to become a mother. In the afternoon, when Agnes is handing out bread, her pregnant friend asks for one more piece, please, because I am eating for 2 lives for myself and my unborn child. But because Wolf's mother is there, Agnes has to refuse. Her mother-in-law tells her not to worry about her food. She should be grateful she has a job here. Hearing this, Agnes feels very upset. She is very angry, so when she returns home, she harms herself with thorns. Even when this doesn't satisfy her, to hurt herself more, she starts scratching her tongue, causing a lot of blood to flow, and this scene is very disturbing. After doing this, she lies beside the body of the woman whose head was cut off and rests there for a while. When Agnes doesn't return home at night, Wolf's mother complains to him that your wife hasn't come home yet. I am very worried about this girl. She neither comes home on time, nor cooks properly, nor does any work properly, nor do you take care of her, nor is she giving birth to a child. Wolf says, Mom, calm down and give Agnes a little more time. They are unaware that Agnes is standing outside, hearing all their conversation. She is sad and keeps crying. She thinks in her heart, how can I tell Wolf's mother that it's not my fault for not having a child, but her son's? Anyway, instead of going home, she returns to the body of the same woman. To ease her mind, she sings to her all night. The next morning, instead of going to Wolf's house, she goes to her mother's house, where she sees her mother and brother sitting comfortably, eating breakfast. After a while, her brother goes to the stable, where he sees Agnes sleeping. Her mother comes too. Agnes tells them that I cannot live in my husband's house. I am afraid there. Her mother says, Dear, that is your home. I can't keep you with me. But whenever you have a problem or feel worried, I will come to meet you immediately. So she is sad and sits near the house. In the afternoon, Wolf arrives. He tells Agnes to get up and come home with me. But when Agnes refuses, he forcibly takes her brother's pillow and brings her to his house. Agnes refuses to do any household chores. Looking at her condition, it seems as if she has lost her mind. She either sleeps all day or prays. Her mother-in-law angrily tells her to stop this drama and get better. But Agnes, who has no hope of living, doesn't respond. Wolf's mother starts changing her clothes to take her to the doctor. In anger, she removes Agnes's clothes and puts them on herself. Then after the checkup, Agnes goes home alone. Then she meets an unknown child on the way. Seeing him, she becomes very happy. She immediately picks him up. She thinks that my prayers have been answered, and this is a gift from God for me. She brings him home. But Wolf's mother gets very angry. She says, Take this child back to where you found him. His parents must be looking for him. Now she has no choice but to obey. So she leaves the child there. She believes his parents will surely come. She returns home and prays a lot for the child. As soon as night falls, Wolf is busy having fun with the villagers and drinking alcohol. He doesn't care for his wife at all, who is sinking into depression, lying on her bed. Once again, she takes out the cut finger, licks its blood, and prays to God. Now, after a while, she collapses, trembling, and she starts seeing visions that have nothing to do with reality. Then, as soon as she opens her eyes, she sees a vision. She digs the soil. She finds her own dead body lying on the ground. She realizes that she has been buried. Suddenly, she opens her eyes. She sees that Wolf is holding her neck. He is tired and doesn't know what to do with Agnes. Then, controlling his anger, he leaves the room. Now, after a long time, he returns. Seeing Agnes's condition, he thinks he should take her to the doctor again. But Agnes tells him that there's no need for this because my time has come. Just call the priest or father so I can confess my sin. Hearing this, Wolf gets very upset and immediately leaves. After a while, he returns. He tells Agnes that the priest is not at home and I will meet him tomorrow. Agnes is very worried that if I die without confessing my sin, my soul will go to hell. She tells the truth that yes, I ate rat poison. Wolf gets very scared and forces her to vomit. Fortunately, at the right time, the poison comes out of her. After a while, Wolf's mother arrives. She sees that Agnes is alive but very weak. So she helps Agnes and puts her clothes on. Wolf picks her up and takes her to her mother's house. Agnes's mother tells her mother-in-law that she ate rat poison, and I believe there is a shadow of evil on her. I think it's important for her to stay here peacefully at her mother's house instead of being forced to stay at my house, after which she says goodbye to her daughter-in-law and leaves. The next morning, we see that Agnes has already recovered and cleaned her room. Then she gets ready, says goodbye to her family, and leaves the house. She reaches the jungle where she sees a group of children playing. She asks a child, "Can you tell me about the shrine here? I will give you money." The child agrees, and when they reach the shrine, Agnes asks him to pray with her. The child agrees, and they both go inside the shrine and pray. But suddenly, Agnes stabs the boy in the neck, and he falls down injured. Agnes grabs him. The child begs her not to kill him, but she stabs him many times and kills him. Then she covers his body and says, "You will not commit a sin anymore. You were a child, So in God's eyes, you became an angel. Then she goes to the church. The next day, she talks to the priest. At night, she cuts her hair, and the next day, in front of the priest, she begins confessing all her sins. First, I couldn't make my husband happy. Then I thought badly of my mother-in-law. I couldn't even care for the animals in the stable, and I didn't do any work properly, bringing trouble to my family. Then she says, I tried hard to care for the animals in the stable, and I ate rat poison thinking no one could help me. Besides this, I committed another great sin. I killed a child. I did this because maybe that child will not commit a sin, and my soul will also find peace. Agnes is crying while confessing all this, and now prays to God, please don't send me to hell. I am asking for forgiveness. Please accept it. After hearing her, the priest decides to atone for her sins. He tells Agnes that God has forgiven you. Hearing this, Agnes feels great peace. She starts laughing and crying as if a heavy burden has been lifted from her heart. The next day, people put pictures of her sins on the trees, as they used to do before. Agnes is then dressed in animal skin, placed on a cart, and returned to the village. Then she is taken to the valley of death. She is placed on a chair, and a mask is put on her face. Wolf is among these people, looking very sad and crying. Agnes, accepting this, starts singing a slow, peaceful song, after which her head is cut off. Now the mood of the people standing there suddenly changes. They all start becoming happy. Then the blood flowing from Agnes's neck is collected in a bucket, and people begin filling their cups and glasses by paying money so they can drink. Because they believe that since she confessed her sins, her prayers and forgiveness were accepted. Her blood is pure, and her blood will bring happiness to their lives and grant good luck. Now the villagers dance joyfully while Agnes's head is hung on a tree. And with the end of Agnes's story, this film also ends here.